Well then, Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2, Desmond draw, better result on the return fixture, but my bloody god, what utter garbage. Complete and utter trash. Same old story that we had against Wigan. Same old, same old. Fantastic, we start well, you get the early goal. Tottenham not overly switched on to begin with. But all throughout the game, all, all throughout the game, it's just been all about Tottenham Hotspur controlling possession, the pace of play, dictating the tempo, dictating all of the actions on the pitch. And I suppose the worst thing about it is looking at the team that Tottenham put out. The only thing you can say that's, even remotely good enough for Tottenham is their back four. That was essentially their first team back line. Their midfield is pretty damn weak, and their attack is not clinical. And they still played us off the park. They still controlled absolutely everything about that game. They still rocked up with 64% possession, with 16 attempts with 6 on target. And we looked like a little teeny tiny nomad team that has a little bit of quality that shows up in moments, and that's thereabouts the best it gets. The goals that we conceded today were just a complete and utter joke. Complete and utter joke. Andre Onana defense, whatever you name it. There's a whole collection of people who can take the blame for both goals conceded. We should have conceded way more goals today. We should have done. Let's not beat around the bush. We deserved to lose that game today and lose it really comfortably. We should have lost it like 5-2 or something. We should have lost it by that. We should have. Factually, we should have lost that by about 5-2. And we're lucky that, fortune smiled upon us. Fortune smiled upon us. Maybe it's we're protected by the hoodoo of never losing a game from a winning position at half time at Old Trafford. That record stays intact today. Maybe we are protected by the football gods. If you shall lead at half time, thou shall not lose this game. Even if you concede about 500 chances in the second half and you actively try to lose the game, absolute BS will be the reason that you'll end up either winning the game or getting out of there with a draw. And that's just the reality of the situation. For a game we should have lost, I mean, Andre Onana he's got a box phobia. He's got a box phobia. Let's type this in. Fear of boxes. Well, it's fear of cardboard boxes is cogumbophobia. Cogumbophobia, supposedly. Let's just say that he's got the football rendition of cogumbophobia. Cogumbophobia. I've got to try and get that right. Cogumbophobia. He's got a fear of boxes, has Andre Onana. He's got to stick to his goal line. The guy doesn't want to command to the box. He doesn't want to come out to collect any crosses. And the problem is with these crosses is usually if the ball goes quite deep, the goalkeeper should mark his line, should stay on his line and not try and go after something that you can't reach. But when the area of delivery is actually right dead in front of you, that you could probably walk to where the ball trajectory is going and just simply lift your arms up to catch it, he stays glued to He stayed glued to his line. And it's so easy and simple for someone who's unmarked in that area to get a free header, and it's literally on an open goal, because at that point, unless the player's going to keep headering the ball straight at the goalkeeper, it's essentially an open goal. And Christian Romero, God only knows how he managed to miss his header. God only knows how he managed to miss his header. They got it off the bar. I mean, it's absolute madness. It is absolute madness. This guy should have pissed off to AFCON nearly 2 weeks ago. Well, not nearly 2 weeks ago. Well, probably about a week and a half ago. He should have been out there in the training camps and getting ready for AFCON. Because I believe his country is playing their first game tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think it's either tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon, something like that. But absolutely just ridiculous. Completely and utterly ridiculous. Big up Fuzz. Sorry I won't be able to make the panel, but we'll be here in chat. No worries, kudos. Big ups to you, man. Backfort and Bentancur are the only exception. The only real exceptions for that Spurs team, essentially, they were missing 5 key first team players today, and they still should have absolutely just wiped the floor with us. We weren't really missing anybody today. I mean, we had all the other first team options on the bench, but we weren't really missing anybody. And that's concerning, that even if we had a good idea of a good collection of players in the first team picture playing on that pitch today, I don't think it would have really made much of a difference at all. And as for this manager, I mean, you are so goddamn lucky. You are so goddamn lucky today that you don't lose this. You're so lucky. It's honestly just honestly pathetic. Really, really pathetic. Like, this guy actually subbed on McTominay at 2-2. At 2-2. He thinks, do you know who's gonna win me this game? Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay. He'll do it. He knows what to do. So he'll go flying up top. He'll go stand next to Højlund, vacate his duties in midfield. But I'm meant to believe that this guy, he's at the right level for this team. He is a proper Manchester United player. Let's keep him. Let's keep him around. Keep him around. Let's do it. Casemiro sat on the bench. Nah, fuck Casemiro. We've got Scott. Top scorer. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Yay, he's top scorer midfielder. What else has he done for United this season? Does anybody know? Has he been pivotal to the transition? Has he been pivotal to possession? Has he been pivotal to defending and set pieces from open play? Has he locked down the midfield positions in defensive areas where we need him to plug gaps, where he gets started every game? No, I don't think he has. Don't think he has. I think he just waltzes into the box when he fancies it and puts the ball in the back of the net. And that's if the play is that stretched. That's if the play is that open. That's when he'll do it. That's when he'll get those goals. His goals mask terrible performances when he starts. There's no doubt about that. But surely you come on to be an impact sub. You had a big opportunity. Big opportunity to score today. Nope, let's miss a sitter instead. I thought that job was for Richarlison and Werner. I thought that sort of missing blatant goals. I thought that was Rasmus Højlund's job. I thought that was his job to do that. I thought he was the one that usually misses sitters from close range. Right. Cool. 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 But this guy he's the difference maker. He's the difference maker. All hail the Milky Bar Kid. Seriously. Casemiro sat on that bench, doesn't even see a minute of game time. Fair place with Lisandro Martinez. He comes on the pitch and defensively we improve. We soak up more. And that's just Lisandro Martinez, typical. Man comes on, starts nutmegging people, starts bossing it in defence. That's just Lisandro Martinez. I'm meant to believe that some people are out there saying, oh, Johnny Evans is better in defence. He's a better centre-back than Lisandro Martinez. The fuck are you on? The absolute ever-loving fuck are you on? Evans is better than Lisandro. What are you smoking? Big up, Opfuzzer, you're well. Doing all right. Had to bear the brunt of that ugly game. But hope you're doing well, early doors. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Big ups to you, man. What was that? He's got ball phobia. He might as well. I mean, he doesn't look like he's really got any balls at the moment, standing inside his own box. Not gonna lie, I was scared when Scott came on. I was scared as well. Scared for what was going to happen to us. Hey, Fuzzy, you wonderful human. Big ups, Carl Rossi, man. It's been a while since I've seen you in chat. Hope you're doing well. Smash the likes up, people. 100%. 100%. Let's see what we're on at the moment. On 4 likes. Let's get those likes up. Let's get them likes up. And all that good stuff. Eric deserves another season at least. Well, that's the thing. It depends. It depends what he does. It depends what he makes of this situation between now and the end of the season. Big ups to 4R2. And welcome to the channel. I believe it's your first time here. But it depends. It depends. If he contributes to us finishing in a bad position in the league, it would be a clear sign of regression. And it sort of has to be a case of assessing the situation between the players and manager. That if the people above the management look at the situation and say, actually, there's a bridge that's broken there that we can't rebuild, we can't fix it. We'll have to start it with somebody else. We'll have to change up the management position. If they end up sacking Ten Hag, I'm not going to sit around and complain about it. But I'm not either going to complain if they decide, you know what, we're going to relentlessly back this manager. As long as they know what they're doing, to be honest, as long as they know what they're doing. The only thing I can really say that I do want to see getting out of this club right now is half of those players. Half of those players that they just don't have the guts to deliver performances when they need to deliver. They just don't want to do it. I mean, Marcus Rashford, I know a lot of people say, but he scored today. What else did he do? I mean, his defensive contribution as well, by the way, near non-existent. Near non-existent. No defensive coverage, no tracking back. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just sits on the halfway line and just waits for everything to come to him. And then he doesn't actually make good of what he can do up top. Just bad decision making, bad football intelligence, bit rushed on technique as well. So the execution is usually quite poor. Garnacho, didn't really see much of him. Graveyard shift for Højlund. Only he literally had like a couple passes this game and buried one of the chances he had. So I can't really complain at Højlund today. Can't complain about him. Bruno, A couple of good passes here and there. Beyond that, nothing really to write home about. Ericsson, I mean, open in midfield, to be honest. Completely open in midfield, because the second goal came from a lack of people tracking runners. And it was also assisted by Timo Werner, who plays on the left. What do you know? What do you know? Get down the wings, cut back pass, late runner into the box, happy days, easy goal. It's simple. Simplicity. Simplicity. You can keep it simple against United and we'll fall straight into your hands. Big up. Hot Fuzz, good game 2-2, but it was for the greater good. Big as anti here, but the greater good. The greater good. Feels like 2 points dropped for us. It is 2 points dropped for you, Kudos. 2 points dropped for you. 2 points dropped for you. But the Old Trafford hoodoo is the reason why you didn't win today. The Old Trafford hoodoo. If we are leading at half time against anybody on the planet, then good luck to you. Best of luck to you. Because we've literally not lost. We've not lost from leading at half time in the modern era. Ever. If he goes, I want Gareth Southgate. He gets disrespected by too much by England fans. I'll gladly say that I'm one of those who disrespects Gareth Southgate. Wet wipe manager, famous for wearing a waistcoat, and that's it. That is it. Carried by England's golden generation. My oh my oh my. He shrivels when the occasion he must rise to it. He shrivels up. He fades away into being just a background piece. Doesn't take front and centre stage. Big ups Taib Hussein. Hot Fuzz bro, don't worry, United will win the league next season. We'll win the league next season 100 years' time. Actually, I say that. Football might have disappeared by that point, to be fair. Probably won't have football anymore. About 100 years later. Might have dried up. The sport might have dried up and everyone might be following a different kind of sport. Probably one made by robots or something. Hit them likes, people. Big ups, Mama Flossie. Great to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hoyland was great today. It's a shame that he wasn't given more opportunity to do even better. You know, with feeding off of scraps, he still made the best of a trashy situation. So you know what? You know, I've got no complaints with Rasmus Højlund today. I've got no complaints with Rasmus Højlund. Set up Rashford as well, because Rashford decided, you know what, I'm actually going to pass instead of shoot like an absolute wet wipe, like a complete wet bag. Instead of shooting, I'm actually going to pass it to someone and see what happens. So he did that. He actually gave an avenue for Rasmus Højlund to then play it back to him. And what do you know? He gets a goal. It's crazy. The wonders that can happen for your attack when they don't shoot from 30 yards every time. Mental stuff. Seriously. It has the most revolutionary scientists absolutely baffled. Crazy stuff. They can't work it out. It's an absolute miracle. Big up all the real ones in chat. Big ups to everybody who is in the building. Always great to see everybody. 7 likes as well. Fantastic stuff. Keep it going, people. Keep them likes rolling in. Maybe. Then who do we get? Conte is needed for these pampered players. Well, if you want to talk about getting someone brutal in, you know, Diego Simeone would be your option, your ideal option there. Now, if you go after someone like a Hansi Flick, that's the tactical approach is very similar to that of an Eric Ten Hag. I see everyone's saying, "Oh, go get Ollie again, go get Ollie again." I mean, we watched Ollie Ball today, so you're coming back just for the sake of changing the name of the coach, and that's it. That's what you're getting. What we saw today, that's what you're getting with Ollie if he comes back. That was prime Ollie Ball, except that happens every game. That's what you're setting up for, basically. As for who we actually do get, I couldn't give you an answer because I'm not actively looking for replacements. I'm entrusting the new board that is supposed to come in to identify what the best what the best plan is, what the best options are, what routes we shall take. I'm putting my faith and trust in them. Prove it to us. Prove to us that you have the club's best interests and ambitions at heart. Ollie's progress was destroyed the moment Ronaldo was signed, sadly. Well, yeah, you could say that the summer that we got Ronaldo, Sancho, and Varane was it was the summer that ultimately killed Ollie's tenure at Man United. I mean, literally had a European final before that, but I mean the mentality from players was not great. The mentality from the players was screwed up under Ollie. So if we hadn't had a screwed up mentality under players, then perhaps Ollie would have been able to have taken his teams further. Maybe he would have got us across the line. Maybe we would have won the game inside 90 minutes in the final in his last full season. Maybe we would have. This is why Ten Hag needs at least another season. Can't keep sacking managers. I back the idea of keeping managers over players that have been the common denominator behind managers getting sacked, because that's what I've been calling for the whole time. I mean, most of this fan base just don't want anything to do with that. They'd rather keep repeating processes after process after process. What was clear today is that Ten Hag is playing the same style of football that we saw under Rolly, that we saw under Ranić, that we saw under Mourinho, that we saw under LVG. The same concept of soak pressure and hit on the counter. Probably less so with LVG, because at least with him, he was just all about possession. Possession, no intensity, just possession, crab walk football. Crab style walk football, you know. Go down the wings, play back to midfield, pass side to side, maybe send it down another wing, maybe pass it back side to side again. Mourinho's just soak up defensive and break. Ollie was the same. Ranić played Gagan press for 45 minutes, and then it was time to throw in the towel. Ten Hag came in playing his style for pre-season, got bitch slapped by the first two teams in competitive games, and then changed it to counter-attack football. And we've been on that path ever since. And even then, we're getting slapped up. Even then. So it's time. It is time to ultimately get rid of the mentality in our dressing room. Get rid of that. Focus on that first, and then you can start crying and whining about managers. Why about managers later on? Get the players. Get the players out. Because we get too many apologists. And the worst thing about it is that when you back players over managers, you start to get into a habit of saying guys like Scott McTominay are good enough for Manchester United. Because you see the positives under every manager. You see what they do for every manager. Oh, Scott, he's my love child. Oh, I have a poster of him on my wall. Bloody wind your necks and swear down. someone like Rashford, as long as he's in the 11, the style of play won't change that much. Bruno as well. And that's, good thing you bring those up. Rashford, I'm done with him. He can piss off to PSG for all I care. He can go. Bye bye. See ya. See ya. You're not a system player. You play for yourselves. Man scored a goal and was just like, keep talking, guys. Keep talking. Yeah, keep talking. Let the haters chat shit. Mate, we chat shit because we watch shit. We watch shit. So there's nothing else to say. It's single dimension to you, Marcus Rashford. Your whole career has gone down the pan, and the most you have to say about it is one dimension to your game, and it's called absolute wank. Absolute wank. So, mate, buy a plane ticket, fly to Paris, beg them for a contract in PSG, and don't come back. Bye-bye. Gets gone. Bruno Fernandes, not a system player, never going to work under this manager. Never going to work under this manager, and that's become apparent now. That we need people that actually play to the system that the manager actually intends to play with. Outside of that, what else does Bruno give to this team? And I mean to the team. Not to, oh, he can score a goal out of nowhere. Oh, he can assist out of nowhere. Well, great, great. That that was part and parcel to him under Ollie. We want to play system football. We want to play system. He's not system player, and I thought this was about the bigger picture here. So surely the bigger picture confines to getting rid of players who cannot play system and get players in who can. I thought that was the point. I thought that was the whole idea of going with system players. I thought that's the whole idea. That if people cannot fit that system, get them out, put players in that can. That's the whole big idea. Manager and players need to go. We'll let Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford and Ineos decide that, to be honest, with the manager. The players definitely. The players definitely, just without intervention, without intuition. All of the players, well, most of those players have got to go. Most of those players get gone. Manager, we'll leave that to Ineos, because they've got to think about who they want to build their future plans around. It's their ideas, it's their plans. I mean, the players are based around what manager's there. So the players have been here for too long anyway. So, I mean, the players are just a prerequisite. But the manager, whatever it is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford want, or whoever it is they get for CEO, well, not really, because that could be a Glazer appointed CEO. And then that really would be like chucking a turd in the fan. Oh, bloody hell. But big ups to Big T, man. Good to see you as always. Ten Hag's failure is the signing of Anthony, 100 million. You cannot be trusted with ex-Ajax signings enough. Well, yeah, I believe that with the whole signing of players, that Ten Hag has got way too much power, and that is ID for the players that he wants in his team. He only picks players that he knows because it's players he knows, rather than the scouting network actually doing its job to give loads of alternatives. But even then, I mean, we saw it with Ralf Rangnick when he was just like, well, look, there's a load of players that I like that I think would be really good from Bundesliga, but also from other countries as well. There's quite a few players, and the club right the way across the board just said, no, we're not signing anybody. We're not signing anybody that you like. We're going to go with signings that we like, and that we're going to back the manager that's going to be here permanently. We're going to go with his ideas. And that's the problem, because Ten Hag could pick a really bad option. He can pick a really bad option, and everyone goes through hell and high water to get that one player, rather than thinking, well, what, where's the incentive if of having this, having something like a world class scouting network to pick up scouting reports of players that are not known, that are from different backgrounds, that have got real good potential, real good quality, are on the verge of making or getting those, big contracts, the next big contract of their career, or their first big contracts of their careers. It should be United doing the speaking, calling up their agents, scouting them game after game, really deciding, yeah, this player is going to fit this team, is going to fit this project, and then going back to the manager and the club and saying, this is what we've got. They do all the other work that needs to be done for the process of signing players, and then happy days. You'll come to a conclusion. You'll join hands, sing kumbaya, and it's all just happy stuff after that. But it's all just whatever Ten Hag says, we'll do it. But on top of doing whatever the manager says, we'll do it Christ awfully. So most of what we do for this manager, we can't do because we're that bad at our job. But when we do it, we will criminally overpay. And on the whole, we'll negotiate for stupid wages for these players. And ultimately, it's more likely to not work out for a player because of the process in which we've gone through to signing this player, the wages that we've given them, the ambition to actually do well for the football club. We actually kill it. We then put them into a system filled with players that we refuse to get rid of because, oh, we don't want to pay off contracts, oh, we don't want to pay severance pays, we don't want to. It's cheaper if we just keep them. If we sign them to contract extensions, we'll protect their values. Protect their values for what? You're not going to sell them anyway. You're not going to sell them anyway. What's the point of signing someone for contract for value protection if you're not then going to sell them? What's the point of it? It doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, Anthony, what? I mean, as far as how much we paid for him, I don't blame the manager. That's on the board. That's the board's fault for signing him for that much. That's the board's fault. And I think everybody low key knows that. That's Murto madness. Specialty will deliver your player that market value can be worth 20 million, will sign them, right, last minute for availability, and will sign them when the club don't want to sell them anymore, but will overpay, and the value of the transfer fee value can sit around £60 million, right? £60 million is how much we'll pay for that player. His previous wages on his old contract would probably, let's say, for argument's sake, about 35,000. Just for argument's sake, he would have negotiated to be, I'm happy for, I'm happy with a good like 75,000. I'll be happy with that. They negotiate and somehow end up giving him, let's say, 150,000. And you think, why? Where's the positives in that? Like that's Glazonomics for you. That's how we operate in a transfer window. Player worth 20 million, we buy him for 60. Players desired wages about 75,000, we'll pay him 150. That's Glazonomics. That's people doing a job they're not qualified for. That's people getting bullied in negotiating rooms all around the world, yeah, and then sitting there and complaining and whining and crying. It's not fair. They are too critical of me. Oh, they're bullying me. Oh, you can't do my job the way I want to do it. Why do you think? Why do you think? Absolute spineless freak. Icty says, Fuzz, tell me what magnificent in-game management Ten Hag produced to date that the players failed at. Well, the thing is, BT, is this is just Ollie ball. This is literally just Ollie ball. We're literally just playing counter-attack against a high line, and the ways in which we fail on the training ground with defending set pieces, but also not tracking runners in midfield. Same old, BT. Same old. 3 runners in midfield. You can literally play centre backs in midfield as long as they can make a run into the midfield, just outside the box, late, just a little late run. Doesn't matter who's on the wing, as long as they are able to play the cutback pass, you'll still score goals against United. A bloody goalkeeper could run into that sector of the pitch, wait for that cutback pass, and get the shot away, and it's a goal. That is how open we are to conceding goals. And that's from open play. Set pieces, God only knows what we do half the time. I thought we've got Eric Ramsey. I thought he was meant to be helping the coaching for set pieces. I thought he was the set piece specialist. Set piece specialist for failure, perhaps. Ollie was better at counter-attacking football than this. We've gone backwards. The whole club's gone backwards. The whole club. Everybody. Every position. Every position's regressed. The team, the club, CEO, director of football, everybody's regressed. Everybody's regressed. The whole club has. The whole club's gone backwards. And the thing is it's gone backwards because everybody, I think most people by now have seen exactly everything for what it is. And now there's no BS to spin with this. There's no BS to spin with this. Not anymore. There's still people who want to plug their ears and cover their eyes and go, la, 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 there's nothing wrong. Nah. No. It's absolute calamity. Absolute calamity. And has been for way too long. Way too long. And the thing is I didn't believe Ollie was good enough for Manchester United, but I don't mistake now that with Ten Hag's failure, with Ollie's failure, with Ranić's failure, with Mourinho's failure, with everybody's failure, I see everybody that we've sacked in a different light. I see them in a different light. I don't feel like they're such scumbags. I don't feel like that anymore. I pity them. I pity them. I pity them because of what could have been if not for the enabling of what kind of club culture we've got. And that's just the brutal reality for it. Rooney was in attendance. Surely they wouldn't. I fucking hope not. I mean, I've already seen in comments today that, get Gareth Southgate in. No chance. No, zero chance. Zero chance. Would never take Gareth Southgate. Wayne Rooney's another one. As much as you're a legend as a player for this club, God, do you ever not know how to manage? I mean, bloody hell. He literally took Birmingham City from 6th place in the Championship to near down relegation. What? I think he did. Took them to, I think, like 20th place or something. Only there for a couple of months before being sacked again. I mean, Birmingham City yesterday finished 2-2 against Swansea. And they were actually the better team in that game as well. Uh, Ten Hag ain't good enough. Full stop. We need the next manager in to help choose the next players to replace these melts. If we sign players, then change the manager, we could be back to square one. Well, the thing is that's the double-edged sword, Big T. That is a double-edged sword because what you could do with that process is if you change the manager first, the club then they will insinuate, well, actually, we want to see how good you can do with these players. Just like that, you've fallen into the trap. Just like that, that manager might end up getting sacked simply because of that. Just because of that one decision. These same players, we want to get a new manager in. Let's see what you can do with those players. Those players, all they have to do, throw the towel in. Any resemblance of what they've done thus far for the past 10 years, anything similar to that, it's over. It's completely over. Which is why I believe that if you fix with the players that come in, if you completely reset, get more players like you. I'm talking, like Ralph said, 10 out, 10 in. Do something like that. As crazy as it is, do that. If you do that, then you can switch a manager after that. It's a clean slate and there's no carryover because the players are enabled. And the thing is that players that come in, they know what they can't do if they've got a board that doesn't enable them to have player power. So for me, the way I'd see it is it's more likely to be beneficial that the manager change happens either at the time that all the players are getting switched over and you just start the whole thing from a clean slate, or it's the players that you switch out first and then the manager goes after that, as opposed to a manager going in and everyone falling for the same thing over and over again, which is backing these players. And the thing is, the fans won't tolerate that. The fans won't tolerate it. So the club shouldn't. And that's the thing. We have to look to Ineos and Sir Ratcliffe and say, have you done your research? Have you done your homework? Because if you haven't done your homework, we're fucked. If you have not done your homework, we are DONE fucked. Moses Baraka, we need to kick players out to even think of a manager change. I'm more in that camp as I have just explained. But big ups to you, Moses Baraka. Welcome to the channel. How many transfer windows will it take to shift this lot? Can we tolerate Ten Hag performances for that long? I don't think I can. Well, that's the thing, is because we're in such a compromised position, you have to ask yourself, how long is this going to take to fix? How long is it going to take to fix? And the thing is that whilst you might, it's like, if we say let's sack the manager first and start with that, it's like you having a really bad illness, really bad illness that's potentially fatal, and getting a medicine that treats it, and you think, oh, this feel, I already feel so much better, but actually the damage is still there, and your road to recovery is going to be really long, really long. But you feel good for the short term, but then that wears off. It's like the placebo wears off, and then you're stuck for a longer period of time. Whereas what you could get if you do it the other way is it's a major operation, right, that may have a complication happen to it. But then you have the fix-up surgery, and then you go on the road to recovery after that. But again, the recovery is quite long. So either which way we do this, it goes about fixing it, we might be here for a while. And I mean a while. But with that being said, because it would be down to the board, who knows? They might just fast track this. They might fast track it. They might literally just go, you know what? Let's get the war chest out and let's talk business. They might offload half, if not most, of that deadwood in the summer. And that already is a major positive. If they do that, then Who knows? Who knows what can happen? But again, that's what we're banking on Ineos and Sergeant Ratcliffe to know what they're doing, and whether we can do that. I mean, with the way that things have gone thus far, we've all got to sort of proceed with caution, as it is. A new manager bounce will give us a few months respite, minimum. My nerves need the rest, and I think that's just. I think that's. I mean, it's understandable from a fan's perspective. You know, you don't want to be sat here saying, "Oh, we're losing games week in, week out." You know, backing something that feels like a dead end project, and I think that you won't be the only one. There'll be quite a lot of fans that will feel like that. But it's like with the short term pain, long term gain. If you look at the blueprints and you could choose between the method that would fix things short term, but ultimately you won't get to where you want to be until much further ahead of the other alternative blueprint, which shows you get more pain short term, but actually you get to where you want to go to in a quicker time frame because the fixing is more impactful. The changes you make have better desired effects. And I think that's kind of the way that if we had the ability to look at that, might be, well, it would definitely make decisions as to what we choose to back or what we don't choose to back a whole hell of a lot easier than it is right now. Because don't get me wrong, I'm also one to feel like we just like how many more performances like this before it is unacceptable. And that's the thing. I am not. If they decide to sack this manager, I am not going to sit here and whine and cry and complain about it because this is Ineos and Sergeant Ratcliffe's decision. You are doing something that you have an idea in mind. Show us that you have got the ability to make a call like that and find the fix, work out the fix for us. We can't rule out there is a chance a manager could come in and click with these players. For me, I don't see that. I personally don't see that. I'm not willing to hold my breath for that sort of an outcome, just given the way in which we've gone, like the past 8 to 10 years, to be honest. I'm live. Great, fantastic, Luca. Just a little bit of word of advice, Luca. Don't don't go into other people's chats and just say, yeah, I'm live. Come over to my stream. Come over to my channel. Don't watch this anymore. Come over to my channel. Like, please do not come into other people's streams and say that, because it is very undermining to the channel that you go into to type that comment. Just as a word of warning to you. But yeah, essentially that kind of wraps up my assessment on this game. To be honest, there's not really anything else that great to speak about in terms of any like big key positives. I mean, aside from Hoyland getting a good, having that of a good, making the best of a bad performance. If he makes the best of a bad performance, then I'd say bad performance. He didn't actually play bad per se because he was feeding off of scraps and still got a goal today. So he did a good job for the situation he was handed. So fair plays to him. Lisandro Martinez coming on, big improvement in the back line. Very, very glad to see him return. And Casemiro, I know he's on the bench, didn't play today. I would have liked to have seen him play today or come off the bench instead of Scott McTominay and, be able to move Kobbie Mainoo into a more free role. I would like to seeing that. But, it is what it is. I agree with you, Hot Fuzz. Big ups to Anfield and Uncle Rods. Hope you're doing well, buddy. What's your cutoff with the manager? Top four is already gone. If you fail to qualify for Europa League, are you done? No Conference League surely has gone too far. Well, the thing is if Champions League qualification is mathematically impossible, I'm wondering if Ineos is if that's what they're banking on. If Ten Hag cannot stay in a reasonable league position, would they look to sack him off the back of that? If it becomes impossible, mathematically impossible. I'm wondering if that's going to be the case. I don't know. I'm not sure, but for me, if we cannot at least qualify for Europa League, if we cannot at least qualify for Europa League as the barest minimum, given how competitive the league places are, if he can't get Europa League, then for me he's got to go at the end of the season. Or if we mathematically cannot qualify for Europa, he should be gone. So for me, it's if he cannot qualify for Europa League, he's absolutely done. Or better yet, if he loses to Eastleigh or Port Vale. If he loses to one of those two teams, yeah. I think he'll be good to go. Big up, keep up the good work, bro. Thank you very much, Uncle Rods. Big ups to you, man. Thank you for all the support. Really appreciate it. What have you got coming up for the channel, Fuzz? Not really. I mean, coming up on the channel, I think I've got a midweek show coming up on Wednesday, I believe 8:30 p.m. It's a new, probably something like a new series of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where it's going to feature me, Early Doors Football TV, and Anthony Herbert. It's going to have us three. Basically just a weekly series, I believe it is going to be, and discussing between our three clubs, whereas essentially you got the good in terms of a club with ambition in West Ham, a club that's on the up. You got the bad in Arsenal, where they're sort of, it's all PR OSES in the Arsenal camp. There's some good to it, but the bigger picture, you'll see more bad than good. So they're the bad, and then you've got the ugly in Manchester United's case, but it might be something that sort of switches around, from week to week, dependent on who's had the better weekend and who's had the absolute stinker of a weekend. You might see the thumbnail changing around a bit, depends on if that's the idea we go ahead with. Which one of you is the good, the bad, and the ugly? Well, Early Doors is, of course, he's got to be the good, right? He's got to be the good. I was listed in the thumbnails as the bad, bad man Fuzz. And then you've got Anthony Herbert's just ugly. He's just ugly. Ugly like Arsenal. It's poor Anthony Herbert. It's just that the funny thing is that I even proposed that I be in the ugly spot because of Manchester United's situation being ugly. But Early Doors still went with Anthony Herbert being the ugly one. So, big ups, man. Big ups. If you need me, just let me know. Absolutely. I'm the bad. Well, for now, you'll probably be the bad. If Early Doors has corrected, perhaps we could call that a mistake there. If he's corrected it, then that's all good. But you might still eventually end up in the ugly spots, regardless, Anthony. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how your fortune goes. But yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap things up there, people. Big ups to everybody who's dropped by in chat. Always a pleasure to see everybody. In the chat, all of the regulars, Kudos, Early Doors, Carl Rossi, 4R2 as well, Taib, Mama Flossie, Big T, Moses, and Uncle Rods, Anthony Herbert as well. Always a pleasure to see everybody in the chat. Big ups to everybody, and that's it from me for tonight. I might be on later on as well with Early Doors. I believe he's got a show starting at 8 p.m. tonight, which I believe I should be on. So you may very well be able to catch me over there. Probably won't be on for too long because I've got a very early night. Because man's travelling for a long time tomorrow just for all the purposes of work. So I've got a really early start tomorrow. But yeah, I have to see how things go. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, big ups. Make sure you smash the likes if you're watching on playback and drop your thoughts and feelings about the match in the comments section below and all of that good stuff. Big ups to everybody. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Goodbye. God bless.